Well, closing is coming up soon, and this step is going over the initial closing disclosure. And this is one of the most important steps, and I will do my best to provide you as much information in this video. But again, if you have any questions at this point in the process or about the initial disclosure, never hesitate to give me a call. We want to make sure at this point in the process that the terms are what you expect. There should absolutely be no surprises that you need, thousands of dollars more at closing, or there's big changes to your monthly payment. We try to be very accurate up front so that when you receive this initial disclosures, it is within your expectations of what you thought your payment, your cash at close is going to be. Again, if there were any changes, we would have been required to redisclose the loan estimate to you. But the initial closing disclosure is very important. The purpose of sending it to you is to confirm the terms, as I mentioned, and it's important that this gets signed 3 business days prior to closing, because that is a federal requirement that we cannot close on your transaction unless we have met that criteria, unless this has been signed 3 business days prior to settlement. So we're going to email this to you just like we did the initial disclosures or any redisclosures, and you can electronically sign it. What's important is that all people on title, so that could be your spouse if you are buying this property alone, all borrowers, all people on title need to sign this closing disclosure. So if you are a little bit more proactive than the co-borrower or the person who needs to sign this, make sure you're following up with them and that this is getting signed as quickly as possible. We will do our best to provide you ample time to review this document, but if you have any questions, what I would suggest doing is calling me and we can go over this closing disclosure line by line if you wish before you sign it. Absolutely fine, happy to do that with you. This document is very similar looking to your loan estimate that you've already received. However, there's a few changes in the format that I'm happy to review with you to make sure that you're comfortable with everything. But we need you to sign this, because what's going to happen is later in the process, and we'll talk about this in the next video, your file is going to be cleared to close. And what we're going to do is we're going to send this initial closing disclosure back to the settlement company. Remember, they sent us their updated fees in the last step. We are going to issue you a closing disclosure, and then now that you've signed it, we're going to send that closing disclosure back to the settlement company, and they're going to review it line by line, penny for penny, and make sure everything is accountable and accurate. Once they do that, they are going to send it back to us, and our closer is going to prepare the final closing disclosure. And so again, this is an incredibly important step in the process, and I hope I did a good job explaining in this video. But once again, if you have any questions, reach out to me or anyone on my team, because we want to, number one, make sure that you are comfortable signing the closing disclosure. There shouldn't be any surprises, but this is an important step that we want to make sure that we're spending enough time on and giving you all the attention you deserve at this point in the transaction. So in the next step in the process, that is going back into underwriting, and I'll talk about that in the next video.